Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty, and today we're going to look at Displaced. It's one from Boom Studios, and it's kind of nice to be reading something that isn't just crime fiction from Boom Studios. Not that that's all they do. It just feels like recently most of my reviews from them have been crime fiction kind of thing, and it's not really my cup of tea. So it's nice to get something a bit more science fiction mystery, and I do like this kind of thing. Sci-fi mystery, 100% my bag. There's been a few episodes of TV shows recently, and for many, many years, in fact, I've watched and enjoyed. And unfortunately, that leads me to my very first criticism. I've got like two very minor criticisms for this comic book, both of them worth discussing, but bear in mind these are small little things that just occurred to me. Number one, there is conversation at the moment, the comic books, some people at least seem to think comic books exist as a pitch for a TV series or a movie. And yeah, we know this kind of thing does happen, and it sucks because people feel like they're not showing the respect the medium deserves, and I do agree to that to a certain level, but there's also people who try to make movies and TV shows and are just terribly bad at what they do, so instead they make Shit Kicker and Bullseye, which is a travesty to any god you might believe in. But the reverse is also true. There's that Texas Blood, which is a fantastic comic book where the guy admitted he'd wanted to do it as a movie. It didn't quite work that way, so he resketched how he did it and made one of my favourite comic books of all time. So it's possible that it can work. This doesn't do that. It doesn't feel like it's trying to be a TV series pitch. It feels like the creators just looked at what TV series do in terms of pacing and how they handle story and mystery reveals, and figured that they could apply some of those lessons to comic books. It's still there in the back of my head. There's still like moments of TV series in there, and it's just, I don't know, because I was thinking about it and it stayed in my head. It meant that when I saw it, I wasn't like, oh, that's a cool thing. It was more like a TV thing. Begins when we get introduced to all our characters, and there's a few of them, and it does that thing of like, let's see what they're all up to at this point in time. Never in a comic book, let's get the gang together kind of way, like you do for superhero team-ups or anything like that. It does just feel like we're getting a few pages on each of these people's lives. We're not even really getting an explanation of why they have to be in the particular place they are for when the mysterious event happens. It's literally just an excuse, or like a reason even, to be like, here's a life, have a look at it, it's cool. And they are. These characters are really well written. You don't really get exposition, you don't get info dump, you just get people living their lives. And because we are viewing it through the lens of a comic book reader, we see the visual and the story dialogue elements that tell us who these characters are. And it is really tight, really good writing. There's no wasted verbiage, it is everything we expect, maybe some things we don't, but not a bunch of stuff we don't need. It is just a brilliant way to let us know who these people are and why we should be rooting for them. It tells us about their motivations, it tells us about the way they're going to interact with the world and each other, and genuinely great. Now, there is also my second criticism comes this one, because there's a little bit of writing early on, in fact very, very early. It might even be the first bits of dialogue, the first two bits of dialogue in the comic book. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is, I've seen advice from various people who write, who talk about the idea that you should read something out loud to make sure it sounds natural for your characters. And I'm a big believer in naturalistic dialogue, mostly because I think the same, two different people might say the same thing in different ways, but both will be natural if you get a grip on who that character is. Now, I'm going to read the two bits out for you. Still got it, you've still got it, old man. I just hope I'm not too late. Okay, it's basically a guy stealing a bus. Now, I do that again, but I'm going to change it ever so slightly. You've still got it, old man. Just hope I'm not too late. All I did was take out the word I, and it just makes it feel a little bit more like that's how the person would say it. And it's not the end of the world. It doesn't stop it being a fantastic little story with really cool elements and excellent sci-fi mystery and a brilliant ending. But it just, again, it's one of those things that once I noticed that you stayed with me. And speaking of the ending, by the way, I've got to say, a lot of TV shows which do these kind of tropes, these sci-fi mysteries, they tend to sell it to you on come back next week, find out what's happening, I bet you won't believe what happens. This one never really does that. Yes, one of the characters is a crazy old man who seems to have a bit more knowledge about what's going on, and it's a bit frustrating that he hasn't told everyone what's going on, but he seems to be trying to get his idea across, people ignore him because he's crazy. But you don't get that sense of come back next week for the next thrilling installment. It's more a case of just enjoy the story that's happening like right now. Just enjoy these characters and this world, and the fact that you don't know what's going on. Don't come back because we're promising to tell you what's happening, or even that we're going to throw even more mystery at you, a la Lost, which, frustrating. but it's brilliantly paced that I just want to find out what happens next. And I'm running out of time, but I've got to say also the artwork's really, really good. Compared to my review yesterday where the artwork barely peeped into average quality, this one is good throughout and moments have raised it into excellent. It's a fantastic use of onomatopoeia, there's some brilliant set pieces, some widescreen shots which look absolutely beautiful. Colouring is delicious and to die for. Honestly, if you like the sci-fi mystery kind of TV show or concept, genuinely worth checking out. That's it for me for now. I've still got like 2 things I might review. I'm going to try and sneak one of them in before the end of the week, but I'm not making any promises because I always get a bit busier on the Saturday and can't necessarily fit it in. But if you do want to keep an eye on us, make sure you do the social media thing. You know where to find us by now. Until I see you all again, though, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.